Hello, everybody. I am Dom of X, Nearmint Condition Manager, and very, very tired at life. But I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm so happy to be here. Today, we're going to be talking about all of the independent comic book solicitations as per the monthly. Unfortunately, Joe and Taylor could not join us, but we do have a good friend of mine still joining along with me, and that is none other than Bunk Master B. How are you doing? Who are you? Etc.
I'm good, man. I'm if you're wondering, I'm Bunk Master B, the larger. This is Mini Bunk. Together we form Bunk Power Ranger types, I guess. Guy hangs out, talks on streams about smaller press indie comics, and decided to hang out and talk about some ways to spend some money in the coming months.
Are you talking about Bunk Zord? Is that what you two form? Are we gonna coin that on stream right now?
I mean, we got enough going on right here. What do you think, buddy? Do you think we could form together to make the Bunk Megazord?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which part
there
would
you
you
go.
Tavy.
You'd be the trainee leg?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
That is cool indeed. Good morning to you, Saturday morning fan. GT Comic, P Comic, hello. X Cammer, hello. Good morning from California, and hello from Germany, Iger. Hope you're doing well.
Guten Tag, Igor.
Guten Tag indeed. Tommy Albarello, hello. Hello, friends. Hello, Fernando. Mini Bunk is back. And hello as well, Jordan. Hey, look at that. He had to miss this month's show, but he'll be in the chat adding the 2 cents.
So I think this is the month then that we just completely skip Fantagraphics because, if Taylor's not here to advocate for it, I say we just put one on him and just completely skip it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Good evening, Dead Hand Design. I'll be reading off of it, Tommy. And we can obviously put our thoughts into that because I also just got an email from Image saying that they just recently added their own app on how to read comics, although I don't. Let me see if I can find it. According to the press, this is just launched in a first for immediate release. I'm trying to figure out how I can share this without killing the stream, but let me see if I can do. Bug, if you may, as I attempt to put this up on top, if you can talk to the folks in the chat real quick.
Yeah, so I don't know how to connect here, so I'm just gonna read you guys off. Matt Hauk, always good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I hope this stream is hitting you at the right time. Tommy's hitting you right back, saying thanks, Dom. We got Jordan saying can't wait to pick up the Seasons issue 2 tomorrow. I am so there with you. Seasons number 1 was an absolute delight that came out last month. The first issue was like a perfect first issue. It was oversized, and it was this extended scene of the main character running through the town trying to find this letter that had come from her. And it's just this beautiful style. It's very whimsical. And when she finally gets it, it sets in a little bit of this grilling or this chilling sort of grim warning that's happening there. And it was just so delightful. And I cannot wait to check out number 2. This is going to make an absolutely beautiful big Remender size coming out.
For sure. Real quick, do you want to go over the Image good news or the Dark Horse bad news first?
You know what? This is a time that we're celebrating. We're here with our friends. We're talking about one of my favorite things to talk about, smaller press and indie comics. Let's start with that good news.
All right. Image is nice enough to send comicreleases.com a link in with all their press releases. So let me go ahead and see if I can share the second screen of where I am coming from with this. Not that one. All right. So if I can blow this up, groundbreaking new comics reading app suite set to launch this summer with Image Comics titles along first available offerings. Reading your favorite comics has never been sweet. Image Comics will join Sweep Shop ahead of the app's upcoming launch set for later this summer. This publisher and new to the scene digital comic store will work in partnership to bring nearly 400 of Image's best-selling creator-owned titles to the shelves of the app in time for its debut. Kenny Myers, owner of Sweet, says Image Comics publishes some of the absolute best comics in the business with a model that is wonderful to creators. We are huge fans of the work that they do, and we couldn't be more excited to release their titles for purchase day and date around the globe. Fantastic new titles like James Tynion and Michael Walsh's Exquisite Corpses and Matt Rosenberg and Stefano Landini's We're Taking Everyone Down With Us will join the catalog alongside popular ongoing series offerings such as Transformers, Ghost Machine, Spawn, Invincible, and The Walking Dead. And the Image Comics VP of Digital Strategy, Lorele Bunges, added, "We're always looking for great ways to get our comics into readers' hands. Sweet Shop is shaping up to be an exciting new option. We're thrilled to have so many incredible creator-owned titles available at launch. They'll be able to read library of comics both on Apple and Android devices, and manga and North American comics alike will be available on this specific app. Fans will be able to confidently browse and buy either in-app or DRM free download format from a variety of Image titles available globally with few exceptions, and it'll be also supporting a vertical scrolling function, a feature that will delight webcomic readers from end left to right and right to left reading versatility for titles as well. And you can look at their pre-launch site on the Sweet Shop. Readers can sign up for a mailing list to receive updates as well as announcements on new features and a growing list of fantastic publishers coming later. If this is here's a blow up of what the app will look like. So for any of you guys interested, this is Image Comics bringing in more digital with the Sweet Shop app to come out this summer.
So this is the first I'm hearing of this. So this is all, kind of in the moment.
Oh, this is new. This is brand new. Like this just got sent to us like 5 minutes ago.
Okay. So that would make sense why it's new. So is the idea then from this that it's like a digital storefront as opposed to like a digital subscription service? Like, let's see if as I was reading it, it sounds like, it's saying things are available day one. Is that for purchase, or is that for like if you subscribe to Sweet Shop, then it's like the day that Image series come out on the stands, you can read them digitally? Because Image is pretty, like I would say probably half of my pull list is Image.
It says get your comics the day they're released, no interruptions and no shipping delays.
But again, that doesn't tell me if that's like, it's loaded on and you can buy it, or it's just like if you're subscribing to this, you have it.
I don't think they have said yet, unfortunately. That is something I would like to know too, though. Like having the distinction between.
Yeah, because Global Comics is one of my favorite places because it does get things like Mad Cave, day of, I have a year subscription on that, and the day that those come out, it's just ready to read, and it's great. And if they had something like that for Image, which I know sometimes gets a little bit tough, where each creator has some degree of ownership to it, and then you look at different imprints within Image, and ownership can get a little bit wacky there. But I would be very down for something that I could just subscribe to one service and then just know that basically I can get all of Image day of digitally.
It would be nice to have. Yeah, I don't think we have anything completely. This is just an announcement. I think we'll know more the day it comes out, but until then, that is what we do have. And then of course we do have Dark Horse closing off what it seems like their digital service as well. Unfortunately, and effective March 31st, Dark Horse Comics and Plants vs. Zombies comic apps will no longer be supported. So you also have them encouraging to download books to bookshelves by the 30th of March so that you can at least have that in there. And the same goes for the DH, again, all the DHD apps by the 30th of March. Whether you're a Dark Horse or have been with us for years, we appreciate your support and regret the inconvenience that this will cause. We know that you may have questions about this disappointing news. This is kind of unfortunate, where it seems like Image is headed towards, at least partnering with somebody Dark Horse does look like they are effectively closing their tab ends on that front.
So I'll be honest, I did not realize that Dark Horse had its own service. I know that they've partnered with things like Hoopla, and some of their offerings are available on Global Comics. So I do wonder what this is. If they're closing their own service, I wonder what that's going to mean for availability of those series on other platforms. Since if they're not making digital a priority, what is that going to mean with sort of those scans and those files? Are they just simply not going to be available?
It doesn't look like they're going to be available once March 31st comes about. So I think why they're encouraging people to get their stuff downloaded and in before the termination of the site. Although I do wonder if they probably will be partnered with somebody like Sweet Shop or Global Comics at some point in the future. Maybe that's where they're headed to. They haven't released anything as of notice yet.
That I think would make more sense, as opposed to having sort of the upkeep cost of their own service. If they can basically say, like, we will provide, the raw files, like we'll have the comics, and then other places that have more hosting capabilities and have the ability, are already browsers for reading comics that, so that's one less thing for them to do,
Right.
Doing a little less vertical integration. That could be something.
That's
quick.
Yes.
I'm jumping out. I'm turning off my exterior lights because for whatever reason I seem to be getting darker with those. So
okay, sounds good.
In just a second.
Is this an NFC AMA? I wish, Josh. It is unfortunately not, but we are here to talk about indie comics as soon as Bunk gets his lights back in session. And then real
quick, we got a super chat that we got to hit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get to. Silhouetted Animator, thank you for the $5 in Titans. Savage Sword of Conan Omnis got me nervous about collecting too late. Did the math. That'll equate to 16 omnibus volumes for the full run, which is a lot of money, as you may well know.
It definitely, and I'm not a Conan guy myself, but I have to say those books look so good. Like, even just on a shelf of Raid, I think Titan is doing a great job with their trade dress, keeping it consistent with Marvel. And as we saw from the change from Marvel to Titan, there's always that question about anytime you're looking at something where there's trademarks that are in question, what happens over time with that. So right. I'm not going to tell you to go out and get them, but I'm not also going to be the kind of person to tell you not to do that.
Unlike Josh, I guess, who is berating other people for having a full run of Conan. And I'm like, come on, man. If someone wants to buy all 16, like, let them. Or
I mean,
hypothetically,
I would also argue that no one needs a full run of Bang, and yet I've got that. So, I mean, maybe you don't need it, but you want it, and you get it anyway because you like to support things you like. What's up, Ryan?
Hi, Ryan. How are you doing? We're just about to get this party started.
Milo, Dark Horse Comics. Say hey to Ryan.
Hi.
You want to say hi, Ryan?
Hi, Ryan.
You want to tell him Spawn sucks?
Yeah, Spawn sucks.
You heard it didn't hear it from me. We do have Tommy saying Dark Horse has been available at X Comixology, which has now been absorbed into Kindle, which is true. There's a lot of services.
It's a joke, buddy.
Not services, I should say, but a lot of issues that have been available there, and they're available at Global now too. So that is probably the move for what they will make. I anticipate that they will move to another service like that, where it's a lot less cost effective, as Bunk mentioned, so that it makes sense not only for the company to upkeep, but also for somebody to be able to provide them with reading services.
So Fuikoko can say hi to the stream.
Hey, look at that. Love Azor. You got a lot of people saying they love Conan. Yeah, the old era of 10,000 years ago is perfect for fantasy stories like Conan.
By the way, speaking of, while Milo is playing with Fuikoko, we're getting an alternate angle here for Dom. Which, first off, I'm seeing the Doom or the Boom Power Ranger Deluxes, as well as East of West in the corner. But obviously, we're missing Piplup. What's happening here?
So real quick before we get into the minutia of the stream, my mom and my younger brother told me, hey, you can't don't using your room as like an all-in-one office isn't healthy for you. And I did find out, yes, it wasn't healthy for me.
That's very fair. Like having a separate space that you go into, so it's not like you can never escape.
Exactly. So they told me will convert a room in the house just to make that your own personal recording, live stream, whatever it might be, studio. And I have been blessed to have moved in here. There's still a lot of stuff I need to move in and decorate and embellish. But as for what I do have right now, I do think that this is the best spot in the house to do that. And so far, it's been great. This is where I've been doing all my recording and stuff for the last week. Yeah, last week because I moved in here President's Day. So
yeah, I'm a big proponent of the idea of like having different spaces even within your house. It's that classic idea that like if your workspace is where you're living everywhere else, there's that you can't like physically remove yourself from being in that spot, and it's like you're always on work mode because you're always there, and even when you're sleeping, you're in your office. Hold on, buddy. So yeah, the idea that like there's a dedicated spot in your house when you're there, you're working, you're doing that, and then you can remove yourself from that. Like the pressure of like being in this place kind of removes. So I think that's smart, even if I do miss Squirtle and Piplup.
They will find a way to come back somehow. I don't know when, but I will find a way to reintegrate them into the spots that I'm in, whether they're background piece, they're hanging off a shelf or something. There's no way. It's just that, yes, I am still in the process of moving stuff and figuring out where things go. As aforementioned, yeah, I have my indie shelf here, or mostly indie, I should say. And yeah, right now it's just an experiment of figuring out what goes in and what goes not. But hey, Ryan, it's okay. They can say what they want to. But no, there's just a lot of moving pieces around in my life. But so far, I mean, my back has been a lot better, and I'm really happy to get this all alongside. And on that note, I'm really happy.
Sorry, before we go on,
yes.
As a representative of the Old Men of Comics YouTube, you being the youngest person online at any given time, do not get to complain about your back. I am going to gatekeep back pain right now.
What do you mean?
Nope, you don't get to.
Okay, but if I injure my back in a basketball game, can I complain about my back being bad then?
You can complain about a back injury because you are a Lakers fan, and it would make sense that you would be on minute management. So that would come with the territory, but that's about it.
Oh man, this is low-key starting to turn into an NMC basketball discussion, which I don't mind by any stretch of imagination at all. But let's go ahead and further or not get into the world of indies. And we're going to kick it off with Image first, because aforementioned, we took a little long on the last one. I want to switch some of these up. So we are going with, I think, the company who's making some of the hottest and best comics out right now. So the first one of which is Art of Top Cow Legacy. This is coming out on the 14th of May. You've got Matt Hawkins, who runs Top Cow, along with Mark Silvestri, Michael Turner, the Sajiks, David Mack, and David Finch, along with various. So if you're looking for art, look no further than Art of Top Cow Legacy.
I know Omar has, said very often that Mark Silvestri is his favorite comic artist. So I know this is going to be a day one buy for him. And I'd be curious to see how many different titles get in there. You would think it being Top Cow, obviously, that Silvestri gets top billing. But then I think about things like Crossing Midnight and some of the, and I don't think this one will be in there, but Hunter Killer that he did with Mark Waid. Some of my favorite comics that have come around. I'd love to see some of those smaller titles that don't necessarily always get the same acclaim as some of the bigger properties show up in an art book like this.
For sure. Hey, Taylor, he's not even our best player on the team, so I don't know what you're talking about.
How dare you? How I'm no, that's no.
Yeah, he hasn't been the best player on our team for the last 2 weeks, so as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm good. Oh, Jaggernaut, how's it going, my friend? Good to see you. And also
what's going on,
hello
Jaggernaut?
to you.
Last time we talked, you were elated with Liam Cohen going on. You got that? Yeah, buddy. And the Trent Baalke era finally being over. I hope those good vibes are continuing right now for you.
Harvey Peaker's Ghost. Yeah, they don't know about Drew Gooden like that, man. They don't. No Larry Hughes, Eric Snow. I know my basketball. These guys are trying to take that all away from me.
Can I put this on?
I mean, don't even pretend like you were part of the shoot booby shoot era back in 2007.
I will be, okay? I will be. I was playing NBA Live then on my PS3.
You weren't even born then.
Okay, fine. I wasn't born then, but that is what it is. But the big book that we are going to be getting to, and I think personally, Joshua Williamson's best work anywhere. Codename GI Joe Deluxe Edition, Volume 1 by Tom Riley on art, and of course Joshua Williamson being the main penman here, with Jordy Belair, Mike Spicer on colors, collecting Duke 1 through 5, Cobra Commander 1 through 5, material from Energon Universe 2024 special, $49.99, coming out on the 11th of June. This is big and really, really cool. Here's a look at the regular cover. And then here is a DM by Annalisa Leone.
So I'm a little surprised that we're not, and I guess so that way it's not humongous, but Tom Riley is also on the mainline G.I. Joe series in addition to being part of Duke. I would have thought that we would have got like at least the first 6 issues or so.
You're going to do that separate.
Which I guess makes sense. I mean, Duke is kind of that clear lead-in. You get Tom Riley going with that. That's sort of the main force that leads into it. Cobra Commander, you get a little bit of a darker book kind of going through that. So it'll be a cool lead-in. It almost seems like instead of this being hardcover book 1, I think of this more as like a prelude to G.I. Joe, or like they call this codename G.I. Joe. So maybe they're going to call the other one different, but it'll be weird seeing book 2 being like the beginning of the G.I. Joe proper.
Oh, for sure. I definitely can. I think they've already leaked it out on Amazon, where that's just sort of the issue where like we're just going to get G.I. Joe completely separate from Duke and Cobra Commander and Scarlet and what have you. I want to get to this real quick. It's Paul, it's collecting 11 issues. So you got Duke 1 through 5, Cobra Commander 1 through 5, and then the Energon Universe 2024 special.
Yeah, I mean, you get 2 full miniseries that were coming out, totally very different, kind of setting things up. If you want to think about sort of a direct dollar cost, each of those issues would have been either $3.99 or $4.99. So just those 2 miniseries, if you were buying them off the shelf, would have been somewhere between $40 and $50 right there. And then now you get it in a hardcover with the Energon special.
Exactly. On top of this, too, you do get, I know that it's only 11 issues for $50, but from my understanding, the regular trade paperbacks for these specific stories don't have the covers in between them. I call it the Jonathan Hickman special, where you're reading a Marvel omnibus. And it's broken up, but you don't get to see all the covers are at the end. And you just get breaks in between issues. I actually hope that these hardcovers are going to have those specific covers in between or whatever extra material added in there as just like a nice added bonus, because that is a lot asking people, whether it's 10 issues, 11 issues, 12 issues, 15 issues for $50, you're going to be getting a lot more extra material in there. So I hope we get some bonuses in here as well.
Yeah. And of course, if you go to channel sponsor cheap graphic novels, if you're in the US, it'll be a whole lot cheaper than $50. So, keep that in mind. Or if you're in Europe, Walt's Comic Shop will be your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions.
In Europe. Ding! Woo! That's super hot fire as well. Some other line, I think we talked a little bit about it earlier on with the closure of Dark Horse on their specific service app, and then at the same time, Image is doing they're putting all of their material on the Sweet Shop app. I've been hearing that you need to download anything you have purchased by the end of the month. It's actually Bunk. Do you have anything to add to this
about Kindle? Nope.
Yes,
I definitely have not.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I'm trying to think if there's because nothing has been relayed to me. Like we have, we get emails about whatever they're Amazon's doing, but As far as I'm concerned, I don't believe that's the case. But I'll let you know by the end if anybody wants to sort of follow up. Let me see if I could. Yes, look at that. Jaggernaut is happy that Trent Baalke's out. I mean, I was when he was out of San Francisco, so you should feel the same.
Which again is crazy when you think about, Trent Baalke and survived a shakeup with the Harbaughs, and then he came in and they missed out on Ben Johnson, at least initially, because that was the guy who was there. I mean, just unbelievable the way that guy just sort of like his staying power within the league.
It is. And yes, Seven Secrets is getting the deluxe treatment from Boom. I
was just talking about that one online today. That is, if anyone has not read that book, it is such a beautiful, frenetic, fast-paced book. It's like reading your favorite cartoon. The line work between Daniel DiNiccolo and Walter Bamonte is just like electric. If you are a fan of sort of the sort of manga influences that you see in someone like Daniel Warren Johnson, where it's just like the images are leaping off the page and you can feel that motion, you get that in Tom Taylor's Seven Secrets, and it's a page turner all the way through. I think the last issue theoretically could turn some people off, but I think it is absolutely a worthwhile read.
If you liked Taylor and Redondo's Nightwing run, because DiNiccolo also does the Bite Might night issues in there, you're gonna enjoy whatever it is in Seven Secrets as well. So if you're a big fan of that, I think you're gonna enjoy Seven Secrets as well.
And actually, if you were reading the Bruno and Redondo Nightwing, you even saw some of the characters already, because there's
they moved them over there. Yeah,
one of the issues that that DiNiccolo did when Nightwing goes to get pizza, Daniel DiNiccolo put Casper and then two of the secret keepers in the general crowd eating pizza, which I thought
he did
was
indeed.
cool
Yeah,
nod.
I thought that was like interesting. I didn't know that they could do that, but hey, more power to Danielle. Let me see. Oh, also another thing real quick. Will I like this if I don't really care about GI Joe?
I would say so. I think they are the kind of things that can stand on their own. Duke is kind of a fun, stupid action movie. It's about a guy who's been wrongfully accused and is forced to break out of prison to clear his own name, and team up with unlikely allies along the way. Like it's not going to be something that causes you to rethink comics, but it's a great block, smaller scale sort of action movie that sort of leads into the bigger bombastic. And I didn't finish Cobra Commander, but it was definitely more of sort of like a sinister tone that was a kind of a fun counterpoint to that. So even if you don't, I wouldn't really say I'm a G.I. Joe fan, and I found enjoyment in both of the series.
It's my favorite Joshua Williamson book, so he has to be doing something right. I find myself a lot of hit and miss on his DC output. Some of his books I enjoy, some of his books I'm kind of on, but I do think he put a lot more fun and energy into these two series than some other books that he's done. So I think maybe that's the point of like, oh, I'm not hampered by this larger universe, or if it's just him saying I can do small sweet stuff. 5 issues, call it a day. Let me see if I could. Yeah, this is why I recommend the Humble Bundle. And yes, it'll include the Scarlet and Destro minis. That it will indeed.
All right, that makes cool then with the codename GI Joe stuff, where you get those going in.
And then you get GI Joe Real American Hero Deluxe Volume 1 collecting the relaunch
cool.
of
that makes sense.
Yep. So yes, this will be a Cobra pickup. Guess yeah, I'm going all into the Energon Universe stuff, even if I'm not completely high on GI Joe or any of these other franchises and all towards. I think what they're doing with the shared aspects of it, post Skybound, getting every single one of these IPs, I think it is really cool. And what it has led into is a lot of great storytelling from so many different creators, whether it be Dan Waters on Destro, Kelly Thompson on Scarlet, Joshua Williamson on Cobra Commander, whatever it might be, I'm all in. And yeah, oh, come on, Josh. Yeah, we got Hoopla. You can also read Seven Secrets on Global Comics. And I never cared about GI Joe, but these books were very cool. Because of budgetary reasons, I think I'll only be picking up the Transformers hardcovers, which is completely fair. I know that's going to be a day one buy for me. Next month? I think next month is when the first volume of those deluxes for Daniel Ward Johnson's Transformers comes out.
Yeah, I've been pulling Transformers in singles. That's still going to be a double dip. First the Daniel Warren Johnson art, and then threading the needle and doing the absolutely incredible of Daniel Warren Johnson leaving a title on art, and it's still being absolutely fantastic and not missing a beat when Jorge Corona comes on. That's going to be a book that looks great in that bigger size.
I love freaking Jorge Corona too. You want to talk about all the books that he's done with Scotty Young, even the Batgirls book that he did with Michael.
I wish that was better. It looked good. That was Becky Cloonan that did that, right?
Yeah, that was Michael Conrad and Becky Cloonan co-wrote it.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of missed the voice of the characters, and it looked yeah, I wish that was better. But yeah, to your point, Middle West, you can see
the you love in the dark.
Yep.
Good stuff. Put it in Deluxe's image. We'll get them out soon. Next up for the hardcovers, we do have Royals, which actually does look really cool. This is by Derek Kirk Kim with art by Jacob Perez. From that creative team, you are invited with two brothers, Paul and Castor, which have crafted the perfect poker hustle using their uncanny telepathic connection, perfect until they're caught red-handed by the most ruthless crime syndicate in Seoul. To pay them back, the brothers must pull off a daring heist, use their gift for something bigger than themselves for the first time in their lives if they don't kill each other first. Look at the cover.
Is this an original graphic novel?
This is an original graphic novel.
I was going to say I don't remember seeing this before.
It is an OGN.
Nice. That sounds super fun. It kind of reminds me of the movie 21, which was based on the book. But that sounds super cool. I'll be checking that out.
Let's see. I know that we pulled up the compendium. Let me confirm it real quick. Compendium one is actually coming out on the 28th of May via direct market. Low-it. So not June the 10th. It is May the 28th. Say heads up. But if if you don't buy direct market, it's coming out on the 10th of June. So you got 2 dates there. We also have a Rick Remender original graphic novel illustrated by Farrell Dalrymple.
This is why we need Joe, the official pronouncer of
That's
NMC.
right. Terrific Teacups, which is again a fully painted original graphic novel chronicling the bedtime stories Rick Remender told his children as they grew up in a dangerous world, lovingly painted by Society of Illustrators Gold Medal Award winner and Russ Manning Award nominee Farrell Dalrymple. During another mundane gray day in London jungle, siblings Dennis and Dade discovered that the world was once a bright and cheerful place, and that the heroes of their favorite book, The Terrific Teacups, were more than merely works of fiction, as they were the pachyderm pair that kept the city safe from the selfish and oppressive creatures who now rule it. Daring siblings must find their way to bring their heroes back to restore beauty and color to a world that has forgotten it.
That sounds delightful. Looking at that, yeah, this is going to be a day one buy that I'm going to be checking out with Minibunk here.
All Rick Remender books are going to be day one buys for me. I don't care as long as it's in hardcover.
Yeah, that's it. I can't remember if it was here or somewhere else I said, but Remender at this point is a read digitally, buy hardcover. You're mini guy.
Thank you, Matt. Be sure to smash that like button. And no, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. And hello to you, Chris Brogan. I hope you're doing well. Let's move on to this is another day one buy. There's a lot of day one buys in here for me for Image, man. I mean, it's crazy. We got Lazarus Volume 4 by Greg Rucka and Michael Lark coming out on the 21st of May, $49.99.
Volume 3 has been so lonely for so long.
And And now you get to have Volume 4 collecting the 7-issue run of Lazarus Risen with issues 27 and 28.
That's going to be a smaller one then, because the volumes 2 and 3 were pushing more. Volume 1 is, I think, the first 10. So that'll be kind of a little bit thinner.
I think my understanding is I haven't read the Lazarus Risen issues yet, but I do believe they're a little bit more oversized. Like they have more story pages than they do via the other ones. So there is that in play. Does this? Let's see. What's up, guys? Random question. You were talking about DWJ. Is the Moon? Is that an ongoing? It's a 10. It's a 10-issue series.
Yep. And while we're talking about that, I'm gonna just.
Okay, let me pull up.
Great series. Love that series. That's an original page from issue 2. I've been trying for years to get a DWJ original page, and that was where I finally got one. So excited. But yeah, really interesting series with that, where the DWJ and Riley Rossmo have been trading off art duties in a way that makes sense, and it works. It's very cool.
It is very cool indeed. Need to get the first 3 volumes of this. This does not finish out Lazarus. It's coming back in a mini series called Lazarus Fallen that will officially close off the amazing world building that the Gotham Central creative team of Rucka and Lark have paired up to do with. So we have one more coming after this. Risen. Yeah, Risen is exactly.
Okay. All right. That's one that I've been waiting to read until it gets hardcover. So I knew Risen existed, but not one I've read yet.
Okay, the Kindle thing has nothing to do with Dark Horse. It's all books on Kindle, must be downloaded by the last day of February. At least that's what I'm hearing.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll look more into that smother line. I'll broker. I'll try to figure out what I can best say to answer that question in full. Yeah, Lazarus is my favorite title from Image. Been waiting for years for this. Cannot wait for the reread this summer once this new one releases. So exciting. Completely agreed. Should I pick up the trades for The Moon is Falling, or do you think it's worth waiting for a deluxe? I always say wait for a deluxe with Daniel Warren Johnson, just because it's always worth it. And also too, like Riley Rossmo, I think, is putting out some of his career best artwork in that book. At least in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about this bunk, but I always feel like you need the full overblown size experience with the DWJ.
Yeah, this is definitely one where the art is sort of leading the story. Like it's, the story isn't bad by any means, but it very much seems like this was an excuse for these two guys who are good friends to like find a way to work together in an artistic medium that like fit for both of them. So, this is one that I would definitely say, if you're interested, when the trade drops, check it out on something like Hoopla. If you have the ability to go to your local library, read it beforehand. But if you are going to buy it and you're not on the singles right now, I think it would be very unlikely for this not to get a hardcover. And I would definitely say that's the way to own this one.
Completely agreed. What's the elevator pitch on Lazarus? What would you say is the elevator pitch for Lazarus, Bum?
So Lazarus is a semi-dystopian future where sort of the idea of nationalities and countries and governments has all been eliminated, and the world has been replaced by, I think it's 13 ruling oligarchies of different families who control different facets of trade. And within the context of that world, it's sort of this espionage story about this immortal, or I guess not necessarily immortal, but a Lazarus forever who does the dirty work for the Carlyle family, and sort of how they use her to go about their bidding and fight against these other families while everyone's jockeying for power. It's you're going to get some of the sort of like Hickman east of west sort of political drama from the different factions. You're going to get great sci-fi action. You know he does espionage well. It's a sort of dark sci-fi fun stuff. Super cool.
It is incredibly cool. I think the world building aspect is the world building aspect is, I think, by far one of my favorite parts of the book. I think, obviously, I think with any single independent book or creator-owned title, you'll obviously want to see the world be fleshed out in the ways it did. I always view Hickman as sort of like hey, like this is how you create worlds. This is how you create landscapes for people to jump into. But I feel like the world that Rucka has created, I mean, it's just so distinct. It's something that you want to delve yourself into every single page of that title. And that's the biggest selling factor for me. And I am really sad that it's going to end.
Can you say hi, Tyler?
Hi, Tyler.
Hello, Tyler.
Totally agree that the world building is just so on point with that book. They've released source books that have a lot of the sort of like bonus material that's going there. The end of the first deluxe is just like pages of dossiers on the individual families that give you kind of backstory, and it's written in such a way that if you actually read through it, one dossier kind of fills in some backstories on the other one, where it goes as deep as you want to get. You certainly don't need to read those if you just want the story. You can totally skip out on those and just get a fun sci-fi action series. But it's sort of as much as you want to put into it, it's going to give you back.
So yeah, it's a win-win for everybody. If you want great world building, if you want great politics and characters, look no further than Lazarus. And yes, we will have one more after this that collects the Lazarus Fallen series whenever that comes about later this year. And then after that, it will be the tail end of this spectacular creator-owned comic. That I will also go wherever Greg Rucka goes. Like he's another one of those first come first serve buys in for me, just because I love his writing and I love his books. I think he just has a level of craft that is just up and above so many other different writers, comic creators at this point. So day one buy for me for sure.
Yep.
All right, next on we got the Adventures of Spawn complete collection by Jonathan Goff and Carrie Randolph. I do like his art. $9.99 action adventure to the end of the world, collecting issues 1 and 2 of this complete collection.
Did you say Bendis?
Bendis?
No, Bendis.
Mm-mm.
No.
And if you also are interested, we talked about the Art of Top Cow Legacy as a hardcover. You will also be able to get this as a trade paperback if you don't like your books with that extra.
If you want to get an art book, but you want small art, I guess.
Exactly. So $39.99 instead of $49.99 for those who are interested.
Although, is the other one, is it literally just a hardcover or is it oversized? Because that would make a difference.
I think this one is it looks, well, it's much more magazine-ish versus, your regular 6.5 by 8s or 6.5/8 and then 10 and 3/16, standard size dimensions. It's a little bit wider than that. So it is an art book through and through. Moving on from that, I do hope that with Lazarus wrapping, Rucka will come back to Black Magic. That would be really cool to see. I think the story of how that, at least for me, and with my understanding, is like back a couple of years ago when Rucka was doing a signing at my local shop. One of the customers at our store asked him if he was going to come back to write more Black Magic, and he said he's got stuff upcoming in the works. When we will see that, we shall see. But that is what he said. So I know that there's more in the pipeline. I just don't know when it's coming out. Yeah, it is smaller size. Because Mark Silvestri isn't a big fan of the deluxe.
Oh, that's for whatever reason he's like, no, I only want my work to be in standards. Okay, well, in that case, you're fine. Just get the trade paperback. It gives you all the art.
It's a fun. You will not be disappointed, Bailey. And if you do, let us know on the next live stream.
Dom will give you a full refund.
I will give you a. I will. I don't.
You
I'm
will.
not made up. Okay.
And that
All
is
right.
the near mint condition promise.
That is okay. That is indeed the near mint condition promise. But here is an interesting one by Busiek and Fabian Nicieza with Stefan Mooney on illustrations and Triona Farrell on colors. This is Free Agents, not Fear Agent, Volume 1, coming out on the 28th of May, collecting the first 7 issues of Free Agents. Gosh.
Can you click on that cover again one more time?
Yes, I can.
Yep. One of the things I love whenever Kurt Busiek does a book is he makes sure that the letterer also gets there. So you can see over in the corner, making sure that Comic Craft is getting title cover there. I love that Kurt Busiek in his books makes sure that it's the whole creative team. So often it's just, the writer, the penciler, and everyone else who's worked on it kind of gets left by the wayside. He's making sure everyone's there. Stay, buddy. But yeah, this is one I've been excited to check out.
It does look cool. And speaking of does look cool, Joe, I've butchered like 10 names on the stream. You need to come back and help us out, man. It's all right, though. Oh, my gosh. And yes, one day we will get a Copra Master 2. So yeah, look at that. Tyler's also excited for this trade paperback. Alzindabarn, hello to you.
I prefer owls out of the barn personally, but that's just because I grew up in a place that had a lot of barns, and you don't want the owls there. You want to get them out.
I want a rowlet in my barn, though.
I mean, which form though? Are you getting Hisuian or regular Decidui?
Regular Decidui, because I've been playing a lot of Ultra Moon recently. Well, for like the last 6 months, I'm trying to complete the Pokédex.
Get all the ultra beasts in your
yeah, but it's taken a lot of wormholes, but I am getting there. I am almost done with the game, so a whoopee for me. Next up, we got a regular trade paperback version of well, this is GI Joe, I should say. This is Volume 1, The Cobra Strikes by Joshua Williamson. Tom Riley, the record-breaking Energon Universe series is here. So what is Cobra? And what are they about? This is, again, going to collect the first 6 issues.
So this is the stuff that, for those that have been watching from the beginning, those earlier miniseries lead into basically this. So you can definitely read it on your own, but it's the kind of thing, if you were reading those hardcovers elsewise, those all kind of tie in and set up this.
That they do indeed. I also like that they credit Jordi Belair in the creator, which is awesome. I love her colors, and she deserves it. Another random question. When you get a chance, I've been holding out reading Kaya for a hardcover. Is that in the works for Wes? I hope so, because that series is lovely, too.
I would have to imagine that will be. I mean, obviously, we no longer have Remender writing it, but, Wes Craig's biggest work was Deadly Class, which got those beautiful, oversized hardcovers. I would imagine that we're going to get something similar for that, since, that was a way that so many people, read that work, and, there were multiple printings on it.
That is a big one for sure. And yeah, for Black Magic, apparently Rucka said on Blue Sky a few months back that Nicholas Scott has been drawing the next issues, and they'll want to run it monthly until it's done, so there aren't any more delays. My understanding, and this is off the record, I won't display who told me, but my understanding is that Image books usually have to be 3 months, or like you need to have like 3 issues or 3 months in, so that there aren't delays or big immediate delays for your books, so that everything can run off smoothly. And that is nice to hear that they are back, because Nicholas Scott, the last thing she's done interior wise is the first 5 issues of Tom Taylor's Titans. She hasn't drawn anything since. So if she's doing the Black Magic issues, to sort of say, hey, time on Titans is over, move it on with Lucas Mayer, that would be really cool to have that back in front at some level.
If we're talking about Image series from sort of big name creators that we're waiting on, anybody else out there waiting on Black Monday Murders? That is still my favorite Hickman title, and we're still waiting on those next things, and we keep hearing that it's coming. So I really hope that that's coming soon.
Me too, because I just want the final volume so we can get it in a nice finished. I know that Jonathan Hickman is a busy person wrapping up his Ultimate Universe stuff. He's still got his Substack.
He's doing the 3 moons, 3 worlds.
3 worlds, 3 moons, which I did. That's the only Kickstarter I've backed so far, believe it or not. I need those big hardcovers, and they did not cost me only 1 cent in the dime. But if you are also interested, we do also have the direct market here because
on a cardboard, buddy.
The people over at the Energon Universe over at Skybound are also doing direct market covers. So if you're interested in getting this cover instead of the main cover, again, same price. That is another option for you. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we do have Compendium Volume 1 of Transformers, again, coming out on the 28th of May, collecting the first 46 issues, and Headmasters 1 through 4.
Transformers. You want to see?
At $64.99. I know this will be a probable day one buy for me. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. Daniel Warren Johnson cover for more than meets.
You got Ultra Magnus, you got Optimus. We're just taking in that sweet cover art right there. We got a big Transformers fan, and he's checking out. We got Bumblebee. Yeah, you're right. You got Grimlock there. I didn't even see him at first. Cybertron in the background. We got Starscream.
And we got Bassett.
Manhattan Project Studio. Yeah, I know that Nick Pitara, he did an original graphic novel that came out a couple of years ago. Would love to see a wrap up on that series as well, because my volume 5 trade paperback is lonely on my Hickman shelf. But yeah, been thinking. Okay, John, been thinking about combo names for this pairing. The best I've come up with so far is Spunk Top.
I'm pretty sure that's a different thing.
Yeah, that's 100% a different thing. Give me more Morning Glory. Although Nick Spencer is Substack only nowadays and has been since the end of Amazing Spider-Man. He got off on issue 74. My mind recalls that correctly. So that's where he's been at. Yeah, Tom Coker has also been going through that. And I think somebody asked him on Blue Sky or Twitter. Don't remember which one it was, but I know that he's mentioned that he's still waiting for some scripts to be filled in. So
I know also he was, even when he was having the health problems, he was still doing commissions of Black Monday murder characters. And he posted on Instagram, he was like, hey, for everyone wanting these are here. And he posted some panels that have been done. So there is, every few years, we do get some kind of proof of life and update. So, something's happening there.
That is a true thing. But yes, guys, this is going to be a day one buy for me. This is $64.99 for the Transformers Compendium Volume 1. Hopefully, we will get more on the way. We will have to also see if they do IDW stuff, and if they ever, whatever the case might be, I would just like to get more Transformers. I've been on a big Transformers kick since the animated movie. So, please do not call me that, Josh. please do not. I don't identify as that. But nonetheless, we also have another compendium, which is The Wicked and the Divine.
Nice.
On the 28th of May. I will just say I had a chance to have a conversation with Kieran Gillen, and from my understanding, he's very excited for this specific volume. It's something that has been in the works. They tried to get this out 1 year ago, but now we have it. He tried to get it in with the 10-year anniversary. Couldn't get it in on time. This is the best next thing we have. And be on the lookout for some hardcovers maybe in the future soon for those who are interested. $59.99 coming out on the 28th of May. Once again, collecting the entire 45 issue.
That will be, first off, the hardcovers have gone very, very out of print on this series. And this is, I think is probably Gillen's best comic work that he's done. Power Fantasy, is only 6 issues deep. I think that has the ability to kind of go by, but this is such a great series that he had. I love it getting into more people's hands. So hopefully this happens and it spurs interest, and we get a reprint of the hardcovers as well, because Jamie McKelvey's got some really nice work in there too.
So yes, completely agreed on those fronts. So this is, again, $60 for 1,300 plus pages of content, which is pretty good value, I would think. And yes, Matt Wilson elevates Jamie McKelvey in so many different ways and fashions. I love Matt's coloring. On top of that, too, I want to give a shout out to Clayton Cowles for lettering like pretty much all of Kieran Gillen's books. Because Clayton Cowles is also the lettering choice for Tom King and also Batman, X-Men, and all of these other books. I always love seeing Clayton's name on any of Gillen's books because I know that it's going to be fantastically pulled in with the bubbles in the right places, when to use certain fonts. Even the SFX in the background, he always manages to have a really good hold of. So it's a spectacular team. So if you haven't read Wictive yet, I would suggest picking this up.
Nobody pinks as hard as Matty Wilson. That man has never seen a pink that he did not love and incorporate in some great way. For those that read Paper Girls, he was the colorist on that, and that was, that book was made by the colors there.
Completely agreed. I'm also trying to find Harvey Peaker's Ghost's comment on Image not identifying themselves as independent. For unfortunate reasons, we have to label non-Big Two stuff as this. I get it, but I also get it. So next up, we do have a couple more. We do have Volume 6 of Criminal, The Last of the Innocent by the ever spectacular team of Sean Phillips and Ed Brubaker.
If anyone has not read this particular story, this is a super fun story of basically what if before you got like Riverdale and everything trying to make like the Archie universe serious and like edgy and whatnot. Like this was hey, what if those characters in this sort of utopian comic strip world where everything kind of goes, what if stuff got real? And you get to see Sean Phillips break into like a very sort of cartoon strip style going with it. This is one of my favorite stories of Criminal, and I think it's one of the one that gets overlooked a lot.
I completely agree. So yeah, $16.99, May 21st. So if you are interested in getting this for the upcoming TV show and you're not a big fan of the hardcovers or just are looking for specific individual cases, this is definitely a must-buy for you. And then next up, we do have Jerry Duggins and John McCrea's Dead Eyes, The Empty Frames. This is Volume 2 of the set, $16.99, coming out on the 21st, collecting the issues 5 through 9 of Dead Eyes. Hey, Joe Sabino's on lettering. I like his lettering. Joe Sabino also lettered Jerry Duggins' Cable run. 12-issue run that he did. So nice holdovers there from the virtual calligraphy guys.
The old VC back in the 90s, everything from Marvel was lettered by them.
And they still are. GI Joe Real American Hero Volume 3 with Larry Hama and Chris Mooneyham on the art, $14.99. This is going to collect issues 311 through 315 of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. This is a look at the regular cover by Andy Kubert and colored by Tamara Von Villen, who also colored Once and Future and a lot of amazing other books. I love her coloring. And here is the DM cover by Chris Mooneyham and Nick Filardi.
I have to wonder how many people are going to start their collections with the DM stuff and get like Cobra things, and then the DMs for later volumes are going to go out of print, and it's going to drive people absolutely nuts that they're going to have like some of the Cobra side, and then they're going to have to get the Joes on some, and they're just going to look and just feel awful about that.
Yeah, for sure. Because yeah, I am getting the Cobra. I want the Cobra Commander DM cover for the deluxe edition because it just looks cool. Like I don't care what anyone says. That's just a cool cover, but you have to think like there is a market out there for people who want the Cobra Commander stuff. I mean, probably why we had one of those in the Kickstarter, right? So I can't imagine. And real quick, do we have an opinion on why they decided to do compendiums for Kill or Be Killed in East of West instead of reprinting the hardcovers? I'm assuming just cheaper too. I actually will say again, I had a conversation about this, and what one of the creators told me was that they are by far cheaper to reproduce, and the margins on cash flow are a lot less for those compendiums than they are hardcovers. Some of these hardcover sets, they're 1 to 3 volumes. Some of them are 4 volumes. Some of them are a lot of volumes. And of course, you're going to get a lot less people buying the volumes 2, 3, and 4 than you will for a volume 1. And these are better just in the case of, hey, if somebody just wants to print out something and have it all in the one, that's a much better option for both the retailer and the consumer than it is for somebody to say, man, I really want these 2, 3, 4 volume sets, and then somebody loses money out on it, or you can't get cash back in as quickly as you want to. So that is my understanding of it, Bunk. If you
it's not an opinion thing. They've come out and they've said it's cheaper. Not just like you said, the margins that they get on the back end, but then also with Image being creator owned, a lot of that money up front for a print run has to come from the creators directly. And, when you're looking at, for guys like Remender or Kirkman or like some of the bigger names that are almost sort of like money printing factory, it's easier to justify something like that. But then for some of the more niche titles that you don't necessarily know, like, Fatale was one of the ones where even though it was Brubaker, that's one of the sort of the smaller titles that they have. That's not like the criminal name that kind of reprints just money, that kept going back. Are they going to do this? What's the cost for it? And it just, most times they find it's way cheaper, and they get more money by doing that. And like you said, it still helps the consumer by getting it into more people's hands.
So yes, it's a lot of people have come out with it. I think you can label any one of them, whether it's Hickman, Kirkman, Lehman, Gillen, in the case now earlier, makes more sense for them versus. It's not that we won't see the hardcovers too, right? Like they can always be reprinted. You just say like, hey, we have enough money, let's do this out. Sometimes it's not in the case for everyone, but there is always a market for everything. And I know that in some cases, I don't know if Jonathan Hickman says like seeing somebody sell an East of West hardcover for $400, like willingly, and people going out there. But that is the due market that we do have for compendiums. So yeah, no, for sure. Hello, Karsten. Hope you're doing well. Good morning to you here from California. I don't know where you're at, but happy day to you. Volume 6 of Gunslinger Spawn, continuing on Todd McFarlane's Spawn run. This is $16.99, collecting issues 31 to 36 of Spawn.
If you are someone who read and loved Spawn but kept thinking, man, but what if this guy had a big hat? Boy, do we have a book for you.
This is a pretty cool cover, though, by Jonathan Glapion, who is Greg Capullo's inker a lot of the time. And then we do have Eric Larson's Savage Dragon Archives Volume 11. This is coming out on the 14th of May at a very interesting price point of $26.99. So if you're interested in more Savage Dragon, look no further than Volume 11. And okay, apparently Josh said it's fun, so all right, so which one is it? Is it fun, recommended? Is it weak? But
no. What I think he's saying is like power wise, he is the weakest of the Spawn. So it's not just like Todd McFarlane gets to invent a new Hellfire power that he uses to just like destroy all the sinners. He's saying that like
I see. I just misread. Yeah, I completely misread it. Yeah,
as opposed to like the weakest Spawn title.
It could be, though. It could be in his opinion. We'll see.
I of the Spawn titles I know that kind of like spun out. I think that's one of the few that's actually still ongoing, and
it is,
had a lot of Brett Booth art on it. People are if you're a Spawn fan of sort of like fun dumb comics, they're like, yeah, that's what you're signing up for with Gunslinger.
You buy Volume 1, you better finish out that run. Hey, I get it, but it's also the same thing with singles, right? Like, say if you have a 50-issue run, not everybody on issue 1 is going to be there at issue 50. It happens. Like, sometimes people drop out because they don't like a character decision or a storytelling decision, or maybe the art switches. Now, granted, that usually isn't the case for creator-owned comics, right? Because it usually is the same artist, writer, creative team. but sometimes things happen and people decide, hey, I don't want to get this anymore. Or sometimes people just don't have the money for it. Sometimes stuff in life happens. You need to buy food, and sometimes food is more important than comics and what you're reading. So I understand it for everyone. See, look at that. Volume 107 of One Piece. Volume 108 is coming out next month sometime. Next up, we do have The Sacrificers. The Sacrificers. I cannot say anything anymore. Volume 3 by Rick Remender and Max Fiumara.
I disagree. I love that you call it The Sacrificers. I think that is just the unofficial NMC pronunciation. I saw in the last video there was a specific comment of Sacrificers? That's what you call drive-in engagement, dumb.
My mind sometimes looks at this and like this Sacrificers, that's too simple of a pronunciation. I need to add an I in there in between the C and the E to make it sound better. Not that it isn't already, but nonetheless, it's coming out on the 7th of May at $16.99, and this is the last of the set, and after this we'll be able to get that sweet Remender size deluxe edition. How many remainders are... Hey, I have a cutoff point, Josh. I don't just throw stuff into the wasteland just because my brain wants to add things, okay?
Oh, I think that's supposed to be Remenders. You know, how many titles from Remender are coming out, and there's a lot.
There is. You got Grommets, you got...
you got the seasons that he's doing now. What's that one that he did with Andy Samberg?
That book keeps getting... I keep announcing the delays for books, and sometimes I'm like, man, my mind wants to... What is that book? I had it at the back of my head. There's too many books coming out right now with my brain. Holy Rollers, that's right. Thank you.
Thank you all.
And then also Napalm Lullaby with Bengal, a book that's one of my favorites out right now. Let's see. Matt says Gunslinger Spawn versus Golden Age Ghost Rider on horseback. Who you got on a 1v1?
I will have Ryan Longden read that for me and tell me what he thinks, because that's a skip for me.
That's a skip. Okay, fair enough. Okay, but here you go. Interesting. Not a huge Spawn fan, but love Gunslinger. The connections to the larger Spawn universe are limited. Mostly just good action and fun character. Okay. I'm glad you love it, Zico, is that your username? Hope I'm saying that right. I'm really glad you love it. Let's see. Yeah, Holy Rollers. There you go. Definitely got to get the covers for this. Tom assumes everything. Hey, you're still... I don't know, man. Sometimes I need to be jumpy in the morning, or else I've had a lot of time to learn how to read Josh Greathouse. What he does oftentimes is an insult to the English language, but inside that, there's a kernel of something there, and if you can get through it, there's usually something worth reading. Not often, but sometimes. We're trying to play off each other. Josh will get better at this. Thanks, Tom. It's evening here in Germany. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Really, really glad you're here. Sometimes you have so much Remender, you end up with a remainder. Well, I mean, considering that Giant Generator has 4 ongoings coming out right now, or 4 books. I mean,
you would think, but dude, those Remender titles sell.
Like,
I would love to see those big old hardcovers with the black dot on top and buy those at bargain prices, but you don't see that much.
No, people love them. He's done a really great job of doing them. When I say, oh yeah, I know that, but it's the other comments that I'm still getting used to. Anyways,
he is.
Nonetheless, we do have a continuation of Transformers by Daniel Warren Johnson and Jorge Corona and Jason Howard joining in on the fun this time. Combiner Chaos, collecting issues 13 through 18. A story from the 2024 special of the Energon Universe, coming out on the 14th of May at $16.99. Here's a look at the regular cover. And then here's a look at the DWJ DM exclusive.
So this is another one where we get Jason Howard jumping in. You guys may remember he worked with Warren Ellis on Cemetery Beach and Trees. he's got a very distinct style. Works really well in the 2-issue series that he came in for, and a lot of good stuff here. And we are getting towards the end of the stuff that Daniel Warren Johnson will be writing. So I think there should be basically one more trade's worth.
One more trade,
DWJ?
and that's it for the DWJ run. A lot of people have been speculating that Robert Kirkman is going to take over the book. I don't know if I want that necessarily, but that is the main rumor that it's coming out right now from the comics community landscape, if you may.
I like what they're doing right now, where it's like, if you want Kirkman doing Kirkman stuff, go read Void Rivals, and Transformers gets its own thing. I don't want Transformers to turn into Kirkman, but I mean, to be fair, I think Kirkman is probably the Michael Bay of comics of right now. So
yeah,
and we know that those Michael Bay Transformer movies, until they kind of stopped, they did numbers. So there's a certain sort of logic there.
Strange Girl. Okay, so as imperfect as it is, Strange Girl, I love it. It's about this girl who gets left alone or left behind after the rapture happens, and she has this demon sidekick sort of next to her, and they go through adventures figuring out what the heck is going on. It is wild, it is chaotic, it is dashing, and the world that is emplaced in there is uniquely terrifying, but it gets propped up with Eric Gwen on art and a bunch of other different creators who also pop in for an issue here and there. It's, like I said, it's very imperfect, but I do enjoy it for what it is. Let's see. Moving on, we do have Ultra Mega by James Herron and Dave Stewart on colors, coming in at the 25th of June. This is going to collect issues 5 through 9 of Ultra Mega at $24.99. You're muted, Bunk.
It's James Herron writing and drawing kaiju body horror. It's an excuse for James Herron to draw James Herron things. If that description sounds cool to you, you'll like it. If that isn't something that sounds like it might be for, like, there's not, I think, going to be a lot of middle ground for this one. If you haven't checked it out, it's either going to be something you're like, I'm really into this, or like, that is not for me.
Cool, for sure, for sure. And honestly, like, James Herron, just because I do like his art, like, if it's an excuse for him to do weird stuff, I'm all in for that, because that means he gets to draw whatever the heck he wants to, and comes up with some crazy creatures.
Yeah, there was like a 2-year hiatus that went on between issue 4, which ended the first volume, and then picked up in issue 5 with volume 2, and issue 4 ended on a cliffhanger. So those of us who were grabbing it in singles were not loving that particular wait.
But now you got volume 2 out soon,
yep.
And hopefully you will be able to resolute your empty feelings up whenever that comes out. And then last but not least, on the image front, we do have, like we mentioned earlier, the Michael Bay of, real quick, Ultra Mega is amazing. We need a giant kaiju size hardcover of it. I don't disagree with that, Taylor. And last but not least, for you to a couple questions, this is Void Rivals Volume 3 by the Michael Bay of comics, coined in by Punk Master V himself. Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo De Felici, the same creative team from Oblivion Song, at $16.99, coming out on the 28th of May. And what will go on here, we do not know, but here is the cover to the regular and then the DM cover for Void Rivals.
I stand by Kirkman as Michael Bay. I think that is a very apt analogy.
That is not a bad analogy, honestly. Is it more science fear or fear agent messed up? No, it's both. It's definitely both. You will get the weird escapades that I think you get in Black Science with some of the creatures and the characters that show up in that book, and then you do get some pretty messed up feely moments in this as well. Phenomenal AC. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. And yes, don't be sure to smash that like button if you're here. We go over these every month, and I'm always fortunate to have at least somebody on my side and next to me to talk about these things.
Sometimes you even get this guy when he decides that he'll actually be on camera instead of just chiming in from the comments.
That's right. Hopefully next month Taylor will be strapped in from work because, yeah, unfortunately, I don't have much time nowadays, and this is the one way that I can get canceled. Tom, aka you sold me. There you go. Yeah, man, I really, really do like it for whatever that word is worth. I do like Strange Girl. I think mine actually just came in because the doorbell rang, and I'm like, wait, that's somebody delivered a package. So that's probably my Strange Girl hardcover coming in. I have the regular deluxe edition, but they decided to print that back out in the library, and it is what it is. All right. Shall we move on to Boom Studio? We don't have anything from Boom, actually. This is the first month that we only have singles from Boom.
Well, then these should be pretty quick going through then. So
we don't go through singles, though, unfortunately. Boom, I will say right now, they are currently shifting all their products from Diamond to Penguin, as Penguin did recently buy out their company back a couple months ago, not too recently. Yes, it is Remender size, Josh. If actually, Book, if you want to entertain the chat, I will be happy to get my package out in the front so you can pull in.
That sounds like a good way to get yourself canceled. Watch the phrasing there.
I will be right back.
All right. All right. So while we are waiting for Dom on that, let's see what we got going on. Again, I do not have the ability to pull this up. Milo, you want to come up here and help me do this? All right. All right. So Josh is definitely trying to get Dom canceled, which is funny because I think Dom is, of everyone who has ever appeared on this channel, probably the least likely to get canceled. You know, a guy who, you know, his greatest vice in life is drinking too much apple juice. Probably not going to happen. You're going to need to try harder than that, Josh. Taylor is saying that Kirkman is basically a WWE writer, and we're going to get some heel turns from Optimus, where he's going to, you know, he's going to be taking the steel chair to the back of Hot Rod and Beachcomber, and we're getting that heel turn. And he's going to cut an epic promo. Honestly, that sounds pretty great. I don't know why he's complaining about that.
And Hot Wheel City.
And Hot Wheel City. Ryan's figuring out different ways that we can try and twist this into it. Dom, while you were gone, I said that you were probably the least likely person to get canceled of anyone who's ever shown up on this channel.
Well, I'm flattered that you would think that, but considering that I guess I said a Strange Girl hardcover was outside.
No. You said you were going to pull out your package on stream.
Oh!
Yeah.
I didn't realize I said that, honestly.
Yeah. That's where I was like, all right, phrasing. Let's look at that. But again, as the man whose greatest vice in life is his indulgence of apple juice, I think you're probably doing okay there.
I love apple juice. I had some this morning.
I'm aware.
But no, it's nothing from Boom. They are in the middle of a move, so we will move on to the next, which is Dark Horse. First of which is Jeff Lemire's 10,000 Ink Stains and Memoir, a 9x12, $54.99 hardcover, proudly presenting a memoir collection of the legendary Eisner Award-winning writer and comic book creator Jeff Lemire, who has created some of the most iconic stories in modern comics.
So it says featuring his brilliant work from. I mean, is the idea that this is like the story behind each of these stories, or is this supposed to be like his own, like the memoir of his life?
It's also, it's like, kind of like an autobiography.
55 for 192 pages.
Yeah.
Is this library edition?
It's a 9x12 library edition size book.
Is it just coming out as a library edition, or are we going to get a smaller size down? Because that seems, I get Jeff Lemire is a big name, but that's kind of a flex to just like come out with an OGN and just drop it in a library edition for 60.
no TPB for this month.
Okay, all right, I see you, Jeff Lemire.
Good for you guys. Yeah, it looks like it's a mix of a memoir / autobiography of Jeff's stuff. all placed into a 192-page book.
Memoir comics are some of my absolute favorites. I've talked about how Blankets is like one of my favorite books ever. It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth is fantastic, but that I like Jeff Lemire. I don't know that I like him $60 worth for less than 200 pages of a memoir of his work. Milo, well, thanks, buddy.
There you go. Next up, we do have Andrzej Sapkowski's see, that's what I'm saying. We need Joe on. A Question of Price. $17.99, 56 pages. Oh, that's short.
Question of Price is what I had about that Jeff Lemire book.
Yeah, this is less than 60 pages for $18. That's a lot. But this is the fourth in a series from Sapkowski's acclaimed short story, The Last Wish. Next up, we have Star Wars Outlaws, $54.99 art book, coming out on the 12th of August, 224 pages. So if you are a fan of the video game, they do these from time to time where they do showcase art from the video game. So
there you go. If you're the kind of person who's buying this, you'll buy that. If you're not, that's going to have likely not a whole lot of appeal there for you.
Yeah, same here with The Art of Super 7, $54.99, coming out on the 15th of July. So yes, if you want that and a slipcase, there you go. Bandette Volume 5, The Wedding of BD Belgique. This is an Eisner Award winning graphic novel though. $17.99 at 120 pages, 6x9, so it is a digest size, but it is coming out on the 15th of July. So if you're interested in your favorite teenage burglar continuing their adventures, look no further.
I keep seeing this one. I'm very intrigued by it. It is a little surprising that it's a hardcover in a digest size, because I kind of thought the whole point of digest is to like make it cheap and accessible. So the idea that then you're putting it in a hardcover, it's a little strange to me. But
because DC also sometimes does that with their, like if they're in a box set, for example, they have the hardcovers of the Teen Titans young adult DC Inc. novels with Gabriel Piccolo and Kami Garcia. I think it's sort of the same thing here.
Okay, I guess if like the idea is like it's coming out in that line, I was thinking more along the lines of like the compact editions where
the accessibility where it's like super cheap.
But I think the hardcovers for Wind from Boom, that was like that same thing where they did the smaller size, but it was a hardcover. So
pretty much
there apparently is some kind of appeal for those.
Yeah, there's for all of these books, like Chris Brogan said, like all the companies, they have different formats for whatever they appeal with the digest size. Sometimes I don't know even if manga counts, but sometimes their smaller format still sometimes gets hardcovers of that unique-esque type of format. Like over at Barnes & Noble, for example, like sometimes like I'll go over there and it's like a random 6x9 or 6x8 or 5x8 manga, and it's a nice hardcover. Costs $20, but at least it's in hardcover. So interesting, yeah. Darwin Crooks Parker was also released in the same size. This is more like a prose book.
That's a lie, Josh. Those only ever came out in the Martini edition, and no matter how anyone shows me those little tiny ones,
they don't exist. The only ones that exist are the Martinis.
Martini edition or bust. That's right. Richard Stark's original Parker prose novels versions. That's it.
That's right. Next up, we have got Blue Book, Library Edition Volume 1 by Tynan and Michael A. von Oming. I think this got pushed back to the 8th of July, but we nonetheless have it in this catalog. 272 pages, collecting the first two arcs in this $49.99 oversized library edition format. I think if you are a fan of Department of Truth, or some of those truth-seeking stories, conspiracy stories out there for comics, this is definitely one for you.
Also, I feel like going into this, you should be aware, even if you are a big Department of Truth fan, given that this is in the library edition, be aware of Michael A. von Oming's style. He's not for everyone. He's got a very, very distinct style. He was the one that did Powers. He's done, Mice Templar, a lot of different things like that. There's going to be a lot of people who, they say, "Ooh, library edition, great," and then they're going to be like, "I didn't need the art this size." Know which one of those you are before going for it.
That is a for sure, because like when I first got exposed to Michael Avon Owing's work with Bendis on multiple series, I was like, okay, this is super different from something that I read in Daredevil or with Ultimate Spider-Man by Mark Bagley. But I did fall in love with it eventually. But yes, it is very different from the type of art that I do think that you would expect from one of these books. And if you're looking into that, figure out, sample yourself and say, is this worth it in a library edition, or can I pick these up in the smaller formats?
Yeah, but like you said, the idea is that this is sort of while Tynan was investigating and researching a lot of the stories that came, that were in Department of Truth, he found a lot of sort of quote unquote true abduction stories, and he's like, I want to just tell those. Mm-hmm. So that's what you're getting with Blue Book. For
sure. Okay, Josh. I might have more space, but I don't have more money. But feel free,
Omar, to bring the manga overviews back. Nothing bad ever happened to NMC when he was doing that, and you just you take care of all of those.
But we have TikTok Tina for that now.
Oh,
I can't impede on her space. I only do DC and whatever Omar tells me to do. So, alas. Next up, we got Dr. Worthless by Mastermind Eric Powell from, of course, The Goon, coming out on the 1st of July, 1999. Michael Avon Owen also did a few issues of DC's Judge Dredd title.
Yeah, he did. He also did some stuff that shows up in the Dan Jurgens Thor, I think, Volume 2. He's been around for a while now.
Yeah, he has been.
Things.
And then he and Brian Michael Bendis became best friends, and the rest is history. We also have the complete Moon Girl EC Archives edition at $59.99, 368 pages from the legendary team of Sheldon Moldoff and Gardner Fox, coming out on the 1st of July. Again, 368 pages at $60.
I was just about to say, it's a shame we don't have Taylor here, because he would definitely have things to say here. And as I was just thinking that, Taylor jumps right in the comments. So, an EC book getting a big old thumbs up from Taylor. What else is new?
Him bashing on LeBron James in the comments.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Next up on the list, we've got Gwent, The Art of the Witcher card game, Volume 2. So if you're a big fan of this, $54.99 again, 248 pages in that library edition.
So if you love Magic the Gathering, The Witcher edition, then that's for you.
Exactly. Next up, we've got I Am Their Silence by Jordi Lefebvre, $24.99, coming out on the 22nd of July. This is a murder mystery about a psychiatrist named Eva, but this is about her in the throes of a bipolar episode and her own spiraling mental health, pulled down in a rabbit hole when one of her only friends and patients has invited her to the reading of her grandmother's will. The Monturos are a winemaking empire revered worldwide, and their matriarch has organized a party at their villa to discuss her will and the family's future. Their destiny is riddled with scandal, which is why the youngest heir, Penelope Monturo, invited the brilliant doctor to figure out what is going on. With her name on the suspect list, Eva transforms into an amateur sleuth out of obsession more than a self-defense. An oddly heartwarming murder mystery from one of Europe's most exciting cartoonists is I Am Their Silence.
Yep, that'll be one I'm picking up. For fans of cozy crime, this sounds like right up that alley. So I'm into it.
He's into it. Oh my gosh. Well, Josh Hart did get fined for flopping, but I did not order basketball on my indie stream, as the great Josh Greathouse would mention. Next up is a King of Spies Library Edition by Mark Millar and Matteo Scala. They have been pumping. Millar World has been pumping these library editions. I'm actually very surprised that Image never let them do the giant generator size line of hardcovers. But hey, he's making his way over to Dark Horse. $49.99, 152 pages, collects the 4-issue series. So if you are into King of Spies, and also Matteo Scalera, who did the art on Black Science.
I was going to say, regardless of what you think of Mark Millar, he has been just absolutely stacking it with fantastic artists for these going on. So it's just basically like, did you love Black Science and in that big oversized size? You want to see more of that? Yeah, well, then pick up this.
And like Taylor and I think have said for every single live stream, because Mark Millar always has a book that's on the catalog, he does compensate his artists incredibly well and much better than a lot of other people. So,
yep. Say what, whether you're a fan or not of his writing style or anything like that, those who have worked with him have nothing but praise for him for making sure that, the artists are taken care of, which is what we'd hope for everyone working on these books.
I completely agree with that. So yeah, if you are a big fan, like Bunk mentioned, Black Science, get this as well, because I love Matteo Scalera and wherever he goes.
As you can see at the bottom, it does say for mature audiences. So unfortunately, people like Josh Greathouse, this isn't for you.
This King of Spies feature built.
How dare you? How dare you?
Well done, Matt. Thank you for making my day.
A lot of anti-Boston in this stream. I don't care for it. Not one bit.
Oh, Jordi Lefebvre, regarding earlier, also did Almost Never, which I know people loved. So this might be an Omnidog book too. We shall see. I know that this one has been a big one on James Abel's plate. This is Planetes Deluxe Edition, book 1 by Makoto Yorikima, $49.99, 528 pages, coming out on the 29th of July. The deluxe feature, it features front and back covers featuring debossed patterns with tactile effect. This 710 hardback also is on high quality paper, and 44 full color art pages with glass stock specialized, also paying tribute to real astronauts inspired by the International Space Station.
Read this one back when it was coming out from, I believe, Tokyo Pop back in the day. Really fun, sort of slower series about the life of interstellar garbage collectors. And just, at least the first volume, it's a lot of very slice of life stuff. As it goes on, the stories get a little bit bigger as, the stakes get a little higher. But the first part of it is just very sort of day-to-day of people that are incredibly important for sort of the fabric of their society, but the kind of people that you don't ever think about.
For sure. Hey, at least spell my coach's name right if you're going to bash on him.
No, Jay. It's Jay. He got that right.
No, he didn't get Reddick right. No,
it's fine.
No. I'm not going to let you off the hook for that, Taylor. My maturity is never in question. My intelligence, however, is a topic of much debate. Fair enough to question. Next up, we got Plants vs. Zombies, which we did get to talk about a little bit earlier. Paul Tobin and Luisa Russo, $12.99, 88 pages, coming out on the 23rd of September. It's a big one for the kids. When I worked at the comic shop, these were always featured at the front of our register, for little kids to pick up and see. Usually the parents, if they brought a kid along with them, buy along a random volume of Plants vs. Zombies, and they always come back for more. So
it's true. Us parent folk, we, as we're buying things for ourselves and we don't want to feel like bad people because we're only just getting stuff, we look for something for them and then hope that they like it too, so we can justify more trips to the comic shop.
Exactly. So if you are big into that, get more Plants vs. Zombies. It's a great one for the kids. And also, we have a visual history of the real Ghostbusters Deluxe Edition, which here it is in case. So for those who are wondering, this is what mock-up
looks like, so cool.
Which does look really cool at $110, 248 pages. It is a 9x12 in dimension. It also includes an exclusive Firehouse inspired slipcase and cover, folio enclosing 2 acetate animation cell replicas, and then a unique Firehouse flagpole inspired ribbon bookmark. So once again, there is a mock-up of that. So if you're interested in getting the real Ghostbusters, look no further to get this on the 8th of July.
The real Ghostbusters, of course, was the cartoon that came out back in the day that ran in the 90s after the movies that came out.
Exactly. So, the last time that I checked, he's a pretty good guy. We're doing really well in his first season, and I doubt he's going to get fired. Come on, Taylor. You need to come up with better slander than this. I was hoping it was the IDW Ghostbusters.
I really would love for that to come back into print.
I would too. I think it would be really cool for at some point. Hopefully, IDW can do that well. My friends have.
I see you. Yeah, I was gonna say all you need is like the image.
I do know that reference. I do know that even without watching the episode. I do know that reference.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we do have a visual history of the real Ghostbusters at $54.90. Lots of $54.99 hardcovers coming out this month.
Yeah, but that doesn't have a book that makes it look like the Firehouse. So I mean, it's cool that it's a history, but like, why bother when there's one up above that like come on, like how are you gonna follow that up with a real Ghostbusters thing and like just be like, here's this history, but also look at that thing above.
Exactly. You got the Sacred Decay: The Art of Lauren Marks. This is a reprint, second edition, $44.99, 144 pages. It's also got new cover art, an expanded sketchbook section, and an all-new introduction from the artist herself.
Nice.
Looks
beautiful.
It does. Now coming into the trade paperbacks, we do have Cullen Bunn's Arkham Horror with Andrea Moody on art, coming out on the 5th of August. This is bringing, Cullen Bunn's got so many amazing horror books. It feels like it's a little bit hard to track all of them. But if you're looking into really good horror stuff. Not that we don't have like enough of it out there, but I think what he does with most of the books that he gets a hold of, they tend out to be pretty fun. So this is $19.99, 120 pages, collecting the 4-issue series.
Yeah, if you love playing board games and you were thinking, but what if this was a comic, boy, do I have something for you here.
Essentially. Next up, we have Blood, Blockade, Battlefront Omni, Volume 1 by Yasuhiro Nightow. $29.99, 672 pages, collecting Volumes 1 through 3, and then Eden Master Fighters from Volume 4.
As it says, same mangaka of Trigun. That is about all I know here, but love Trigun. Probably would like that.
Exactly. We got Carlisle School for Kings by Nelson Greaves and David Castelluccio. $19.99, 104 pages, I should say. Collecting the 4-issue series here. So if you are into epic fantasy with friendship and betrayal, where you have to earn your way to being king instead of being a Nepo baby, this is where you will find that.
Yep, this is the sort of Strange Academy, the Titans Academy, the Harry Potter style, school books, but for fantasy king making. I've been excited to check this one out. I heard good things about it.
Absolutely. Next up, we got Chibi Usagi. The expanded edition, $14.99, 184 pages in the digest form.
Like, I mean, come on.
It's Stan Sakai.
And it's Attack of the Heebie-Chiebies. Like, come on.
Taylor, if you bring in the Lakers one more time and find a way to denigrate them on stream, I will find a way. I'm joking. I love you, buddy.
Man, Dom pulling I will turn this stream around on Taylor.
I love Taylor. How could he brings more in-depth knowledge to all these independent books than I can ever do. So he is definitely, I love you, Taylor. That's all I'm trying to say. Stan and his new lady friend. No. I would get fired if you'd let him. No, don't do that, Josh. We love Tay-Tay.
Josh,
Josh, do it. Do it, Josh. Yum said to.
No, I did not say to.
He really, really wanted it, and then you should tell Omar.
No, no. We got Patton Oswalt, Jordan Blum, and Heath Corson on From the World of Minor Threats, The Brood. Not to be confused with Brood from the X-Men from Marvel. This is coming out on the 29th of July, 1999, 120 pages, collecting the 4-issue series.
I have not dipped my toe in any of the minor threats thing. That's a universe I have not checked out, but it's been going on strong for a while. It feels like it has some very dedicated fans. So cool. I'm glad that there's more for those that love it.
Completely agreed. And then you've also got the Color Out of Space manga from H.P. Lovecraft, $14.99, 194 pages.
The last one they did was At the Mountains of Madness, right?
You're correct. So if you're interested in that, and also if you are interested in the ending to Jupiter's Legacy, a book started in by Frank Quietly, Wilfredo Torres, and Mark Millard, Tommy Lee Edwards, now on art, 1999, 144 pages, collecting the finale of Jupiter's Legacy.
Yep. As seen on Netflix.
As seen on Netflix. And then Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken, Volume 8, $14.99, 168 pages, coming out on the 23rd of September.
Continues the story beyond the end of the anime.
Indeed. And so if you're interested or have watched the anime, you want to keep going, Dark Horse is doing a great job with a lot of manga, honestly. And they keep pumping them out in fresh. And the same goes along. This is not an anime, but it is by Caitlin Yarsky. This is Living Hell, coming out on the 15th of July, 1999, 120 pages. This is about, in the vein of Buffy, you've got heart, humor, and darkness in this demon vampire-esque book, Bounty Hunters 2. Renegade Royale. This is by Ben Kahn and Rachel Silverstein. And illustrating along with this too is Jim Campbell and Sam Beck on colors. You got this coming out on the 29th of July this year. The second queer installment of this. You know what? I love this inscription. Queer Kick-Ass Gaming Experience. That sounds like something I'd be up to, honestly.
Like your video games, you like your queer representation? Boy, do I have a comic for you.
It's time. Yeah, sequel to the award-nominated Renegade Rule. So if you read that, this is the follow-up for those readers. You got Sparks Volume 2, Royalty by Revel Guts, 1999, 176 pages, coming out on the 15th of July.
Revel Guts, what a name.
I like that.
Second volume. Million Knives.
So yes, this is the second volume of 3 graphic novels. So we got the third one coming out later this year. But if you are a fan of the webcomic, look no further to get that in print here again at $19.99. We also got Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures Phase 3, Volume 4 by Daniel Jose Older and Harvey Talabau. 1999, 112 pages, coming out on the 19th of August, collecting issues 14 to 16 of the High Republic Adventures Phase 3.
I've not dipped my toe in any of the High Republic stuff, but that's another one that I feel like, it came out of the gate so strong, and it just has like a very sustained fandom of like that particular era of Star Wars.
As an analyst major, I will say, Josh, that is factually incorrect, but you do take up a good portion of the chat. I will not digress there.
That means try harder, Josh.
Just yanking on your chain, Josh. As seen as possible to stream on Netflix and then gets promptly ignored.
True.
That was it, yeah. Nice Renegade Rule sequel. That book was fun. Okay, I have to check out these graphic novels then. Does it get more indie than Star Wars? Okay, Josh. I do have the option to ban you from stream, though. So I'm joking. I am playing around.
But he does. And he can.
I can, though. The Stone Shore Register. Hey, this is G. Willow Wilson. with M.K. Perker and Richard Brunning, $24.99. When a refugee and aspiring journalist, Fadumo arrives to work at the Stone Shore Register, she is entering a far stranger place and she realizes. You got a Pacific Northwest fishing town. Honestly, we don't have many books of Alaska or Saskatchewan, the Northwest Territories.
Saskatchewan? Is that what you were?
That's what I was about to pronounce, and I can spell it. I just can't say it. But nonetheless, if you are interested here, Ryan, please.
Chat. Speaking of things like that and talking about Northwest Territories, does anyone know of a comic that takes place in Nunavut Territories?
I would love to know that too.
Because we've seen certainly some comics that have taken place in, obviously all over Canada. We had in Alaska. We had Ducks that came out, which was more southern Canada, kind of pushing on. But I can't think of any time we've been to Nunavut Territory. So please, if anyone knows of a comic that takes place in Nunavut, drop it down.
Drop it down or let us know in the comment section on the replay. We'd love to know. Next up, we got Welcome to the Maynard by, again, big name, James Robinson, the author of Starman and Earth 2, and Jay Bone on illustrations at $19.99, 120 pages, coming out on the 22nd of July. So collecting the
everyone has known someone in their life nicknamed Jay Bone. Like when illustrator Jay Bone, it's just like at some point there has been someone in your life that was nicknamed Jay Bone. I feel like this is a universal thing for everybody.
I knew one when I was in middle school.
That's what I'm saying. At some point in your life, there was someone that was referred to as like Jay Bone.
For sure. No, I completely agree with you there. Like, it's just a reference that makes sense at some odd point. But yes, that is all we do have for Dark Horse. I'm going to screen through. We only have 4 books coming out from Fantagraphics, or 5 books, I should say, coming out from Fantagraphics. The first of which is
that works out perfectly because I got to go pick up my daughter in about 10 minutes or so.
Oh, there we go. So we will move on. Again, you can find these all at comicreleases.com, where we do have it under the tabloid of May. I actually would like to go over IDW real quick, and I think we can end it there and then move on when Taylor and Joe come back, hopefully next month. The first of which is The Art of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Colin Stein at $39.99. This is 240 pages of content.
Was Rise the Nickelodeon show? The one that came out prior to the current Mutant Mayhem?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. That had a very particular art style. But actually, like I kinda enjoyed it as a change of pace.
Interesting. I did not know that. Should have
Taylor,
shown.
it's not too late to get a link to the stream and show up.
That's also true.
You can tag in for me. We can be a tag team.
What about a comic that takes place in the trailer park? I can't think of any off the top of my head now that you mention it.
Trailer park, I don't know about that, but Grass Kings takes place in sort of like unincorporated territory off the grid. So, I mean, it's not a trailer park, but it's still like the idea of like outsiders kind of going in with that. But yeah, I can't think of any offhand that are trailer park.
Interesting indeed. Well, there you go. I met Robinson. He was asking about interesting stuff, Josh. Please ban Robbie. Oh, that's funny. Anyways, moving on. We got Star Trek Defiant Volume 4, The Stars Are Home, by Christopher Cantwell and Angel Unzueta. 17 through 21 of the series, $24.99, 144 pages, coming out on the 27th of May. It's time.
So to go over for the next one, if you want to show the take me out.
Yes.
Make me small.
Sure.
Go down from a Defiant. There we go.
Got TMNT. You got the Ink Deluxe Edition, $79.99 of the first 4 issues of TMNT. But go ahead.
These For anyone that hasn't been following along, these issues were beautiful, where they jumped around and had different high-profile artists tackle each one. So you got Rafa Albuquerque for the first one. Then we got a little artist named Cliff Chang.
How'd you get the Wonder Woman illustrator on there, if I may ask?
I'm sorry?
How'd you get the his original art, if I may ask?
Oh, he's rep by Felix, who's one of the biggest art dealers.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, same way that for the DWJ stuff, it's kind of like an art drop where it's like all of these pages are going live at this particular time, and if you're first, you get it.
I see.
But yeah, you got Joelle Jones that was going on all of there, and so I was not planning on picking this one up in single issues when it was first coming out. I was like, I'm going to wait. It's TMNT. I'm going to be fine doing this. And then they announced each of these high profile artists. And I was like, all right, I really
you have to
want
get these
those off. And so far, it has been a great beginning that's going on there. But I mean, these first few issues in particular, just really, really great job with the art kind of drawing you in. So I didn't know this was going on. I don't know that this will necessarily sell super well, but I think this is cool that they're doing.
I completely agree with that. And this is the third different type of deluxe edition that they're also doing with the first couple of issues of TMNT. And if you're just interested in seeing the pencils and rough inks that they have there, I mean, $79.99. I mean, it's perfect for art collectors, like people who are into that sort of a deal. Also, real quick, everybody has been called a J-Bone. Am I missing something? Like,
No,
yes,
I have been called J-Bone, and that's
Right,
what I'm
yeah.
saying, man. Like, there's something so universal about that nickname J-Bone that it's just like, yeah, that's just like, there's always a J-Bone. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah,
that was
super cool.
I was not planning on getting any from that drop. I just kind of logged on. Raphael's my favorite turtle. That issue was Mikey and Raphael. The first 4 issues are about like the turtles coming back together after they've split up, and I loved that page so much of like the two of them fighting, and like you get the the image on the bottom of being from Raphael's point of view, and you get the speed lines of Mikey coming in. I just thought that was so well composed, and it was just so cool.
Completely agreed. We are going to fly through the last of these trade paperbacks because I do not want to be alone on stream, unfortunately. We got Batman TMNT.
You could send Josh a link. He'll come on.
I got stuff to do. We got $21.99, 144 pages, 6x9. You've got this again, new edition of the 2017 series. I do find it interesting that they do have the rights to this, and then DC has the rights to the Tynan Batman TMNT crossover. So
yeah, I wonder if there was like some kind of agreement when they were publishing it, because this is for anyone who has the TMNT the James Tynan omnibus that came out with those 3 series. Yep. This is different than that. This is more like Correct. Saturday morning cartoon style. So
instead of Raphael, this is where my parents died. Cowabummer. There you go. Look at that, Carl. Good.
Hey, what's going on, Carl? The last time I did this, I gave you a shout out for liking Skin Police. Everybody, go check out Carl. He might have a new art drop piece to show off soon.
There you go. Yeah, moving on, we do have Best of TMNT Volume 5, $29.99, 392 pages, coming out on the 13th of May.
So these ones, for anyone who doesn't know these, you can see each of the characters on them. They've been putting them out where it's like a best of that particular character, and then it goes kind of through the history of the TMNT and just like takes little sections from each of those characters. So if you're someone who says, I like a particular character from TMNT, but I don't want to buy like 40 years worth of history, like these are a way that you can go ahead and do it. Or like in this one, like you can see Alopex on there, and you're like, oh, Alopex seems cool, but I don't know what the deal with that character is. These are a way that you can kind of like say like, oh, okay, this is how that character, like their history and what's been going on with them.
Exactly. You got the Earth Divers Omni, $27.99, 488 pages. If you're interested in getting all of the 3 volumes collected in one trade paperback, this is a great way to do it. $27.99 too, which is actually a pretty good deal considering.
Keep in mind it's an IDW omnibus, so it's kind of like that Dark Horse. So this is not going to be your standard oversized hardcover, but very cool alternate history that Stephen Graham Jones is doing. He's mostly known for his prose work, but stepping into the comics world here with this one.
For sure. Got Godzilla. Here There Be Dragons, Son of Giants by Frank Thierry and Inaki Miranda, coming out on the 20th of May, $17.99. Yeah, bummer, John. And then continuing on, we've got My Little Pony, Back to School. Tony Fleeks on artwork. That I do find interesting. $8.99. The guy from Stray Dogs.
Yeah, well, that's I think the more interesting thing is that Tony's still there, since that's where Tony got his start. That's where he met Trish Forstner, kind of from the pony circuits. He's even with his bigger stuff going on, he never leaves the pony fandom.
That is a very cool thing to see, indeed. And then you got The Storm of Zephyr Heights, $17.99, by Jeremy Whitley at Andy Price and Kate Sharon, $112, coming out on the 13th of May. You got Robbie Thompson doing an original graphic novel, The Sin Bin, $18.99, 152 pages.
Pretty sure that's what Jess calls his section that he told Omar if anything ever happens to him, he needs to clear out of his house so Patty doesn't find it.
Oh my gosh, that sounds about right. I think he's mentioned that to me before. Again, original graphic novel. We got a couple of Sonic books. You got Sonic Prime Volume 1 and then On the Go Volume 1. On the Go is $24.99. This is the Ian Flynn series, 280 pages. And then for $9.99 for the Sonic Prime series from the adaptation of the Netflix series. I actually had a lot of fun with that Netflix show. So
yeah, we've been watching a lot of that stuff, but more Ian Flynn Sonic comics. Mm-hmm. It's if you're a Sonic fan, you love the Sonic comics. I mean, he's got one of the most enduring runs. He's one of the most enduring voices in it that is not Ken Penders that's out there.
Mm-hmm. And then yes, you got Star Trek Picard Omni. You got $24.99, 192 pages by Mike Johnson, Angel Hernandez, coming out on the 14th of October. Collecting the entirety of the Picard series and its 2 graphic novel adventures. And then last but not least, you've got You Wish, Book 2, Wishborn by Jeff Victor at $14.99, 160 pages, coming out on the 3rd of June.
And unfortunately, that was not You Wish, the old TGIF series that came on after Boy Meets World about a genie living with a suburban family. I know, you guys are disappointed. I am too.
He is too. But on that note, I think we are going to wrap up the indie stream for now because Bunk does have places to be, and I have planned places to be, unfortunately, in like 15 minutes. So we are going to go cut off here, but I would like to thank my panelist for doing the duo with me. I wish we were both in tank tops, but I think the weather where we are at right now is not ideal.
How dare you, being in California, and try and say that? Like, we only just got above freezing. It's 35 now, and I'm honestly tempted to go outside in a tank top because I'm so excited for it. And you over here in California be like, oh, it's far too cold for me here in my climate-controlled area. Oh, not nearly fine enough. No, no. You don't.
Is this me just talking about how bad my back was earlier?
I was gatekeeping back pain. Now I'm gatekeeping cold temperatures too.
This is unfair.
Nope, absolutely. This is what I'm doing.
Okay, fine. But if you want to check out Bunk and what he's overdoing, hey, listen, man. Listen, it's 57 degrees over here, Josh, first of all. And second of all, no,
that's still like double the temperature it's been over here.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But nonetheless, you can find Bunkmaster B. Check him out on the YouTubes there at Bunkmaster B on Comics. We want to thank everybody who has joined us on the stream. You can check out all the solicitations there at cr.com. Of course, my own YouTube channel at Dom of X. And also
an interview with Kieran Gillen coming soon. And actually, if I can plug some more stuff,
sure.
While you are waiting for that Kieran Gillen interview, you can go back and listen to Dom's second interview that he did with the fantastic Kelly Thompson. Gets her talking about Jeff Landshark's glow up that he's having with Marvel Rivals. Great conversation with her. Go check it out anytime she's on. She's super fun.
I am really honored that you mentioned that because I'm like, well, I appreciate it. So thank
I
you
was
both.
actually in a tank top when I listened to it. I put that on while I was working out.
Well, thank you to that. And yes, be on the lookout soon for an exclusive with Kieran Gillen on collected editions, Power Fantasy, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we talked about. But I am, of course, Dom of X, the manager of this channel. Unfortunately, Omar today, as he was a little bit busy, texted me earlier. But you guys, take care, everybody, and have an awesome day wherever you are.
See ya.